Good evening, everybody, and welcome to ExtraTyne on the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. You are joined this evening by myself and Laura. Razza's computer decided to update about 35 seconds ago. So he's currently updating himself, and then eventually he will join us. Don't you worry. I know there's a lot of Razza fans out there. You won't be disappointed. So yes, my name is Roger Banks, and welcome to ExtraTyne. And this week, we are joined as ever by Laura. Good evening, Laura. How are you?
Good, thanks.
How's your week been so far? Well, so far, I suppose we're at the end of the week because
Good.
the drink's out.
Yes, been a good run. I've even got gin tonight instead of Moretti. It's been one of those weeks.
Oh, it's been one of those weeks.
Yeah.
What was the best thing about this week, Laura? Come on.
Without sounding like boring, my kids did really well in their assessments. Yay!
Well, that isn't boring. And then what was the worst thing about this week?
I slept in this morning massively. Absolutely
good.
had a
Never
panic
good.
attack. Yeah.
Never good. Right. So, as I said before, we will be joined by Gateshead's finest, Razza, in just a few moments once his computer's finished updating. But this week, it's been a really busy week as ever at Newcastle United. So, if you read the Gallowgateshots update, we will be covering the following topics. We've got, obviously, Ginola in the jungle. Laura's going to keep us up to date with that. She's going to give us all that we need. We've got Jonjo Shelvey's very awkward interview on Newcastle United TV, which was very, very awkward. We've also got Maxi Watch, as in he gave away a watch, a tag watch, to a very dedicated fan. Very interested in that. And then, obviously, Eddie Howe returns to the dugout at the weekend, which we're all absolutely delighted about, I'm sure. And I suppose as Storm Arwen begins to batter the country.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called, I looked it up and everything.
What's it called?
Arwen.
How do you spell that?
I don't know. It sounds a bit woke for me, like, but yeah. So, did you know, Laura, by the way, do you know where they get the names from?
A hat.
Go on then.
A hat.
Oh, a hat. I thought you said as in I agree. Yes, I do know.
No, I don't know.
Apparently, they do it alphabetically. So the next storm will begin with a B.
I think I did know that, but then
it'll be like Storm Brenda or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did know they did it alphabetical, but I didn't know how they then picked the actual name.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's just somebody at the Met Office probably takes it. So as ever, we've got people watching live. So good evening to Tom, to Marty, Tune for Life. I think Tom's on his way down there. Tom's on his way down to Arsenal tomorrow.
I see.
Yeah. Hopefully the trains won't be cancelled.
Fingers crossed.
Jesus. Storm Banksy, they should call it. Well, I am drinking a dark and stormy, Marty. So, there we go. There's a natural link for you. So, Laura, Eddie Howe, obviously, well, Jason Tyndall did the interview today, the press conference, looking very tanned and windswept and interesting.
Very handsome man.
He's a very handsome man, isn't he? Laura, do you think, obviously, Eddie Howe coming back into the dugout, it's going to give everybody a lift, isn't it?
Oh, massively, yeah. It is a big lift. And I think, obviously, he has had so much input anyway, but even just being in the dugout and seeing the impact that you'll have from the dugout will be a massive, like, especially because it's on TV, so we'll be able to see, like, if he's doing like a Rafa and giving the instructions and all that, and then, or if he's doing a Bruce and just gonna shout run. But no, hopefully, yeah, I have got I'm looking for it from a selfish point of view, because I know I am quite selfish. I was hoping that his first game would be Norwich at home, just for us. But no, I will take that. I am glad he is back tomorrow.
Yeah. And do you think that away end's going to be absolutely jumping, isn't it?
Oh, bouncing. That's if they get there, fingers crossed. Yeah, like you said. But no, yeah, for him to experience it as well, because they'll totally outsing and outnumber the Arsenal fans, I'm sure of it. So it'll be nice for him to hear how buzzing we all are that he is there. But yeah, I'm not 100% optimistic, but I'm more optimistic than I would have been a few weeks ago. It was encouraging. Sorry.
I was thinking. Well, I did the Always Smiling Faces podcast.
Sorry, but you can't start talking and then put that on. Why have I been fighting?
Oh, has Laura been fighting?
Laura, have you been fighting? No, why? You're making us think I've got a black eye. You're gonna have to. You can't put that up and not give us any background.
I don't know. Maybe Tune for Life can explain. Is it, or maybe he just thought you've had a bad week. He's been asking if you've had a bad week, and he knows you've had a bad week. So there you go.
Sorry,
So I can't even remember what we're talking about again. The match, football, Eddie Howe, press conferences. Yeah, so I mean, it's got to be a positive. Obviously, I think that away end is going to be absolutely buzzing. Under her right eye is red. There you go, Laura.
Oh well, that's made us feel like shit.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jodie.
Thanks for the live trolling.
I'm going to be very self-conscious now.
Obviously, don't forget to like and subscribe, as Chris is telling you there. He's furiously trying to get his son to bed there, but he's taking his time out to.
I hope he's giving him a pepperoni.
Yeah. Yeah. His son, well, just before we came on, by the way, just to give that a bit of context, his son was asking for a snack and he was like, "Can I have a pepperoni?" Which, I mean, is the cornerstone of any supper, really, isn't it? You know, what more could you want? Anyway, yes. So back to the football, which we always like to go through at some point. Laura, obviously the big, I suppose it's not a big debate because I think everybody knows who the better keeper is, apart from the Chronicle, who's now Lee Ryder asked a really weird question, and he said, "Oh, Lee Ryder, I've missed those times.
I have as well.
I have missed it a little bit. I have missed it. Anyway, so yes, is Carl Darlow going to make way, and is Dubravka going to come back in? Surely, yes.
I hope so, yes. But then I'm not too sure what type of, we still don't know fully what type of manager Howe is. Is he going to be that cutthroat and knock Darlow's confidence? It probably is knocked already, actually, because obviously it was his fault for like a couple of the goals. But everyone, I would imagine, apart from Lee Ryder, must surely want Dubravka in. And I think that's the only change I would make, personally.
Yeah, I think it's probably the only change available for it at the minute. You know, Dummett's not being fit yet. I would perhaps, depending on if he changes formation, you know, would you bring Lewis back in maybe as a proper left back? Would you bring Manquillo back?
I toyed with Manquillo, but then I thought, and I spoke to my dad about it, and his opinion was he doesn't think Lewis is strong enough yet. However, then just as I'm talking there, it's going through my mouth, how's he ever going to be strong enough if you don't give him the game time? But I just think we don't know our full strongest team, our full strongest midfield. I think personally now we've got a new manager that knows what he's doing and's got a plan and wants to go forward. I would say keep the team as similar as you can to give them a run of games and a bit of momentum, because we played all right last week. Yes, defensively we weren't great, but going forward we were. So hopefully Eddie Howe and his team, like his coaching staff, have noticed what was wrong and have the skills to alter that and change that, and then keep the same team but just rectify those mistakes. Whereas beforehand with the previous manager, if they make those mistakes, then you're like, they're going to make them every week, or he doesn't know how to change it. Whereas hopefully this time our coaching staff know how to change those defensive errors. So I would say keep the team as stable as possible, just to give a bit of momentum and a bit of game time. Yeah,
I think so. Just to come back to the question of Darlow or Dubravka, Eddie, all the way from Tenerife, rainy Tenerife, has said, "Darlow."
Like it.
So I think that's fairly conclusive from him. I think he's had that time with the squad, and I think any changes that you make will be, I have more trust in the changes that he might make than I previously would have done. And I don't know if you watched the video of the players training this week, but it was really interesting to see that they call Manquillo Manky.
Oh.
That's his nickname. Following on the long tradition of just adding a Y to somebody's name when you're a football player, and that's your nickname. So Manky. And I wonder whether he understands the meaning of the word monkey.
Is that a Geordie thing, or?
Yes.
So maybe none of them know. So maybe they're just calling him monkey and they don't understand the connotations behind it.
You proper monkey?
No, Longstaff there, surely would have told them.
Yeah. Just to come to some of the comments there, Marty, I think brings up a really good thing, and this is Jason Tinder was asked about this today. What has Fernandez done? I think, well, what has Fernandez done to upset Howe, to upset Bruce, to upset anybody? Laura, did you catch what Tyndall had said about?
I didn't know. I caught some of the press conference, and I heard the way they were going to set up and stuff like that. But it was 35 minutes. I didn't have time to watch it all. What did he say about Fed?
Well, he kind of said he's been a good professional. You know, he's a good professional. He's a good example around the training ground and that sort of stuff. So he did sort of give him a bit of credit, and he did sort of mention, but I just think
has he trained this week? Because in the Gallowgateshots, was it Darryl said, "Oh, Fed hasn't trained. He wasn't on the train."
I saw him on the video, but
right, okay.
That's when they're all walking towards the pitch, so you don't know whether some of them are then going off to do, like, you saw Shaw coming down the pitch, but then you didn't really see him in the training videos.
Well, they might be doing gym work or whatever.
But it looks like he's fit, according to Tyndall. But I guess we'll see with that one. I think what Dan's saying about Tyndall, Freddie hasn't performed behind the scenes, perhaps. I suppose it's one of those things where there's like a vacuum of information. He gives it a little tidbit. Tyndall gives it a Tyndall tidbit, and then we're kind of, working out, filling the gaps. But for me personally, I think that if we're going to play this three at the back, I think until Dummett's fit, you're going to pick Clark because he's a left-sided centre back. Then for me, you have to pick Shaw because he helps us play a little bit further forward in the pitch. He stops Jonjo Shelvey coming so deep. And then after that, really, it's a choice between Fernandez and Lascelles for me. And
I don't think he's going to drop the captain. I think if he was going to do it, he would have done it his first game back and be like, look, you're not for me, you're not the whatever. I think he's going to stick with Lascelles now, especially because he got a goal and stuff. So
yeah. Come back to what you were saying, actually, Laura, about Lewis, about his strength and in training. They should put Lewis up against Allan and Joe and see if he gets him stronger. I guess we'll talk about Joe Linton and we'll definitely talk about Allan Saint-Maximin a little bit later on. But yeah, so it is nice though to have these discussions about who is playing, who's not playing, and because I think we all feel a little bit more positive about the players that we have on the team. And
like you said before, whatever he picks, we trust. So it is exciting to see what team he's going to pick and not get angry about it because we're well, right, that's the team he's picked. That's the team we're going with. See what happens.
Yeah.
But I thought it was dead encouraging when Tyndall was saying they've been in touch with Howe like a dozen times a day. And Howe's obviously not been there, but he's been sitting in a hotel room, isolating with nothing to do. I would hope that he would be even more meticulous than he would be when he was there. So yes, he's there tomorrow, but he's been working with them all week. And he said that we're gonna yes, we need to work defensively, but that doesn't mean we're going to work purely on defense. We're going to not lose the attacking side of things. So again, it was just all very positive. It was just nice to listen to, and like you believe what they're saying as well. So I am optimistic.
And actually, the phrase "we're looking to win" are words to that effect.
Yeah,
like that is like
we're going there to win. Yeah.
Yeah, like because I was saying before on the Horse My Faces podcast was on Monday.
I seen that you were there. I was like, oh.
I was moonlighting. Do you know what I mean? Just doing a little bit. But like we can't really afford to lose. We can't afford to go into games and be like, this is a free hit. I think we need to go into games and with an attitude of we can win this game. And I think that's going to have to serve us well for the rest of the season, really. David, I definitely agree with David about, I think we need to bring in some fullbacks, but I suppose that depends on the formation that you're playing. If he's playing this 3-4-3, then you've got to balance it with players that Howe trusts, which is Richie. I know he trusts Richie because he knows him, so I guess we'll have to see on that one. Dan comes in with that one about Fernandez, which is the response when he was asked about whether Fernandez would be playing, about it being a long season, which is a bit of an answer like Laura that you give in parents' evening. He's got a lot of he has a lot of knowledge and he's just applying it in a consistent manner.
Yeah, I used one of those phrases this afternoon at 3:15 talking.
Yeah, got to be done. But yes, so I guess we'll wait and see. Do you think that obviously with Wilson being on a yellow card, do you think there'll be any particular words spoken to Wilson about maybe he's trying to calm things down? Because although we probably don't want to write this Arsenal game off, we do have Norwich on Tuesday, and if Wilson's missing for that game, Gale's got possibly a hamstring injury, although Gale's got a good record against Norwich. He's got that hat-trick, and he's
the fourth row,
and they are essentially a championship side. So do you think there'll be any specific instructions to Wilson to calm down?
I really hope so, because for me, that is a massive worry. We need Wilson. And like you say, you don't want to write it off, but you also have to be quite realistic about it and think, right, Arsenal away, terrible record there. Norwich at home, absolutely massive. Burnley at home. Would it just be a one-game ban?
I think so, yeah. I think there's him. I'm going to guess that Lascelles and Richie are both one yellow card away from a one-game suspension.
Them not so much, because you could argue like, would find somebody to replace that. But Wilson, for me, we need Wilson. He's saying that mind. He didn't score on Saturday, but no, I think he's so important. You don't want him picking up a ban at all. So I think he will be quite not reserved, that's the wrong word, but it'll be in the back of his mind, in the back of Howe's mind, and maybe we'll see it change early on in the second half, maybe, if he's not on a yellow.
Yeah, and I think, well, the reliability of, obviously, Dwight Gale coming into this game, I think Marty hits the nail on the head about Gale being born with a hamstring injury.
I didn't know he had a hamstring. When was that?
It's a hamstring.
Today?
In the last couple of days, that was the announcement from Tyndall today. But it's a bit like when, obviously, Cisse was born with it being offside.
Offside, yeah.
these are just these things that certain players have, you know. But I like Connor's attitude. We can outscore the Gunners.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I mean, you know, they're off the back of a 4-0 defeat. It's either going to go, they're either going to want to whop us or they're going to feel a bit fragile. So hopefully we can go into the game with a positive attitude and we can go into the game and put it on them. We've got to go there and put it on them and try and make them second guess themselves, be uncertain about, you know, how they're getting on, how they're playing, and we've got, because they can be got at.
Yeah, I was looking at the results, and apart from like the hammerings from Liverpool and Man City, they have kept quite a few clean sheets. So that's when I was looking before, I was like, but I think our attacking threat, just off even that one game, like it's made me think, wow, we can go and score 4 or 5, like which never would have left me mouth like a few weeks ago. So I do agree. I think we could really like score goals. However, the defense is still a worry for me. I still think they'll score at home. So it's true, we will have to score a few.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to get 2 goals to win the game, I think. Chris Wallace has asked a really valid question. Has Raza gone to the Apple Store for his update?
Has he texted?
Well, he's just texted me saying still updating, for fuck's sake. So read into that what you will. Yeah, so hopefully we'll go into the game in a positive mindset. He might go with that. I remember the game against Chelsea that Bournemouth played, and he went man for man.
Yes, and that's what comes into my mind. Big top 6 team, that way he approached it with Bournemouth. Hopefully he's doing that with us. Like you definitely. All I know is that he will go for it and he won't sit back, and that's all that we ever asked for when playing those big teams. So I'm looking forward to watching it. Are you watching it? Are you out?
Yes. Well, my daughter's at a birthday party, so I'll be BT. As long as my dad's not watching BT Sport at the same time, I'll be like, oh yeah, great. Woo! The conga.
Pass the parcel. Your turn. You're out.
I mean, it's not my daughter. It's not my daughter's birthday. It's a friend's party, so you know, I can be a passive guest at the party, you know, or I can sit in the car. They might tell us to bugger off. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. So anyway, so obviously, I think Dummett's the only person who's out. I think the rest of the squad, it looks like Shaw's fit. Will's Gale, although he's not really in the first team picture, but looks like he might be available barring this hamstring injury. So I suppose while we're still waiting for Raz, Laura, it's been a big week this week. Flapjacks. We've had everything going on.
Yes.
Obviously,
Ginola
one of the true entertainers in Newcastle's history, an absolute legend. And that word gets thrown around a lot, but this man is a legend in so many ways. On the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, I'm sure Ant and Dec were absolutely delighted to see that David Ginola joined them. So in a little segment that I'm going to name Laura's Jungle Update, Laura,
Yes.
what's happening with Ginola in the jungle?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us, please.
I know you're not
Hold on,
watching
I'll
it.
get comfortable. I'll get comfortable.
I know you're not watching it, but you're missing out. You really are. You know, when like somebody who everybody loves, and I don't know, does everyone love him, or is it just Newcastle?
Apart from John Gregory, I think everybody loves him.
Right, well, I don't know who that is, but
John Gregory, he was the Aston Villa manager, and he had a go at Ginola, and he must have been questioning.
And he took his fitness and he took his top off. Yes, I didn't know that's what he was called.
Come
yes.
on.
Yes.
If I'd said, do you remember that time Ginola took his shirt off when he played for
I would remember,
Aston Villa? You would remember that.
No, I know the story and that. I just didn't know that was his name.
John Gregory, yes.
Yes. No, so
come on.
Yeah.
Has he had some emu bollocks in his mouth, or what's been happening?
No, nothing. He hasn't done a trial yet, I don't think, but he's coming across how you would want him to come across. Like, I was a bit worried that, you know, when Ian Wright went in, and he was, and I love Ian Wright, and he came in and he was a bit of a knob, and he was like quite like aggressive and confrontational, whereas Ginola has been the complete opposite. He's just totally what you would expect him to be. Even he had to go in like the I don't know what it's called, but not the nice camp, the bad camp. And he was so he was so chill.
They don't get they get nothing. They get basic rations.
Yeah, and he was like kept going. He went in at first, and he was saying how terrible it was, and but he was just so chilled. And then he took his top off and was doing press ups and on the next to the fire, but not just normal press ups on the ground though. It was like he had his feet on the table. They were like incline press ups, like which are the hardest ones. Then he was chopping the fire, the wood for the fire in the machine. It was just. Oh, honestly, you are missing a treat.
What am I missing here?
You honestly get it on catch up. It's
Laura. Sometimes we're accused of not really getting to the heart of the real football matters and trivializing stuff, but I think this proves that we don't.
Oh, definitely. I could go on all night about this. Ask us like stuff about Tracy Crouch and that, and I wouldn't have a clue what you're on about. But Ginola and
Tracy Crouch, like?
Don't know. I don't know. Still don't know. I didn't even. I googled her when you said that you were going to ask us, and it came up like all this like politics stuff, and I just clicked off. I was like, I'm not even going to look.
Politics, eh? Yes, Ginola. Yes, Marty had his shirt off. Yes. And actually, while Marty's on the screen, have you seen the latest updates of his Winter Wonderland train set?
I have.
Absolutely incredible, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Lads and ladettes, go and check it. It's absolutely brilliant. Find his Instagram or his whatever he's got. It's absolutely amazing.
Very good.
Yes, so I'm going to start. I'll check him out. I will check him out.
And he's never had a flapjack before, and he got one as a treat the other night, and it was brilliant. He didn't.
He's never had a flapjack?
No, I didn't know what one was. And he keeps dropping in like little Geordie phrases like ta-ra to Ant and Dec and like how we then, and it's really good. And then they did a live trial where Steve McDonald and Ian Beale were eating bollocks or something, and my Ginola highlight of the week, not the top list, which you would probably be surprised, it was he shouted over live on ITV, "Focus, guys." But it totally sounded like "fuck you."
Focus.
Yeah, he was like "focus, fuck yous." I know it was ridiculous.
Is he a bit like a French Gino Di Campo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, his pronunciation of things.
Yeah.
But yes, that's my Ginola update, and I'm gonna miss it. What's the time? 5 minutes.
Are you watching on catch up, man? Don't
I know.
worry about
I'm recording it.
Yeah. Don't be watching it out the corner of your eye. By the
I
way,
haven't. I've turned it off.
when the match is on. Don't be
No,
doing
I have.
that. Dan's trying to update you on Tracy Crouch. She's just another MT fishing for some
Dan,
crowd.
no offense, but I'm honestly not bothered.
So, yeah, we'll come on to that possibly.
Oh no, don't, because I don't know anything about it.
And Chris, cric à rabat, the French for flapjack. What was his actual response though? Like, when he tasted it, was he like?
Yeah, he enjoyed it, but that he has been living on rice and beans, so I think anything would have tasted nice to him. So,
aye, that's true.
And it wasn't even a chocolate flapjack, which what's the point? It's just like gooey stuff stuck together, flattened in it.
Yeah,
not a fan.
not a fan. Obviously not. So, I think that's well and truly ticked off the list there. We've done our Ginola update. Do you think you deserve some theme music? Shall we try and work out some theme music?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's not in the jungle. I know he's in a castle,
but we still call it the jungle.
Yeah, we'll call it the jungle
mm-hmm.
because like Wales is a weird place anyway. So you know what I mean. Sorry to our Welsh viewers.
I was going to say, have we got any Welsh followers?
Probably not. Not now anyway. Chris isn't a fan of flapjacks. He much prefers a pepperami. Is a flapjack a treat nowadays? I think it is when you've had rice and peas.
I can't remember what they could choose from either, because they get two options and they get to choose. I can't remember what the other option was, flapjack or something. Because
that rice, what did they have? Rich tea biscuits or something the other day, and I'm absolutely buzzing about them. I did see that bit.
Mind, I'm a fan of a rich tea. I had two before.
Oh, slow down, Laura. It's Friday night, you know. Woo!
Did I tell you I had to give some of the kids from Halloween them because I ran out of sweets?
When they knocked on your door?
Yeah, I had to give them rich tea and blue riband because I was really embarrassed.
Blue riband? Oh, you must be going up the pay scale, are you? Blue riband?
They're £1 from Bina.
Oh, right. Anyway, so moving on, I think our next topic, obviously...
We need Raza back to install some like football crack.
Some football crack. Don't worry, he's furiously typing away.
I can imagine how angry he was.
I think he's doing it by carrier pigeon.
He was very angry as he left.
He was very annoyed. He won't even let us click off it, like. He wasn't happy.
There isn't even a restart later button.
Right.
Sorry.
So, another thing that we covered or we've seen today was this week was Jonjo Shelvey's interview with the official Newcastle United TV interviewer. I can't remember his name. Dan something, I think he's called.
Andy Sixsmith.
No. Andy Sixsmith is from Premier League Productions. But this one was
I might have watched the wrong interview then.
I think they might have asked him the same thing, which probably pissed them off a bit.
Right.
So for those of you who maybe haven't caught up with this, Jonjo Shelvey was being interviewed by the in-house NUFC TV production, and they obviously talked about the impact of Eddie Howe and the coaching team and how that's been working so far for the players. It was Dan King, that's it. Thank you, Tom Lynch. Yeah. He's always in there. I love Dan. And friend of the channel, Andy Sixsmith, yes. And he was asked, obviously, he said, well, Dan said to him, so I know you're not on Twitter or social media.
Well, I do his facial expressions when you do it.
Yeah. But a lot of the players, a lot of the fans have been sort of considering that you're not the fastest player, that you wouldn't enjoy the training and
Why? I'm going to interrupt you there. Why would they say that?
Yeah.
He did that, didn't he?
He why would they say that? And he did have a little smile on his face.
Yeah, it was like a wry smile.
A little wry smile on his face. So, and also Dan King, friend of the podcast. Well, probably not for much longer. I do think it was a ballsy question to ask.
I do.
Do you think he prepared him? Do you think he knew that he was going to get asked that question, or do you think in true ExtraTyne style he just sprung it on him at the last minute and said,
"Right"? True Roger style, yeah. No, because of his face. I think the smile was a bit like, the way he interrupted him. I felt a bit sorry for him. I did. Yeah. I thought it was a bit of a mean question. The interviewer Dan probably didn't realise he was going to question him and say why. He would
Yeah.
probably thought he would have just give the generic like answer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, which I've been training hard, blah blah blah. But no, I don't think he realised that he would question him. But I did feel a bit sorry for him. But I liked the interview. From what I've read, I didn't watch the full thing, but I read what had been put on.
Yeah, he came across. Yeah, he came across like.
You still don't like him.
I've said this to Decca the other day. Like, I don't like him for the right reasons.
I know.
Like,
I heard you say that on Monday.
I don't question his ability. I don't question. He is technically, even in my opinion, Allan included. I'm not going to call him Saint or Saint-Maxi. I like calling him Allan. I can't call him the garlic gobbler or whatever else he needs to be called. No, somebody said call him the garlic muncher or something. I'm
it was garlic, but I don't think that was called that.
That's slightly xenophobic. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, Allan. Allan's a great player, but I do think Jonjo Shelvey is technically our best player, but effort-wise, he's probably in the bottom 10%. So,
and that's why I think Eddie Howe did a brilliant thing of bigging him up before we'd met him, because I know, like Jonjo had said in the interview, like I was buzzing when he said that, like when I'd never met him, I worked alongside him, and I think that was massive by Howe bigging him up, because for me, he's the type of player that would work harder. And I mean, Bruce used to big him up and favour him, but it was in a different way. It was like, I don't think the respect was there like it is for Howe. It was a bit like, I can get away with murder with Brucey loves us. Whereas for Howe, I think it would be like, oh, he said a nice thing about us. I'm going to try harder. Yeah. And he even said, like, it's give them the extra 5%, which I think was a massive lie. It's more like 95%. Rocket up their backsides. And I think Howe's got the expectations there from him, and I think everybody knows where they stand. So I do think, and like you said, we know the talent that Shelvey has got, but I don't dislike him the way others, like the people behind me, dislike him and you, but I think Howe will be the guy to get it out of him. I really do.
Yeah, I think Dan's saying if you had Richie's attitude, he'd be an absolute world beater. He would be. And I think even if he's always going to be, I feel he's always going to be slightly inconsistent, like as is the nature of that type of player. That creative type of player, you're not going to get, 8, 9, 10 out of 10 performances from him all the time. Welcome to the room, Raza! And now I can actually put the branding on. Now Chris has worked very hard on this.
Oh, I know. Imagine
so
if we
drum
didn't
roll,
get
please. Drum roll. Give us a drum roll.
Hey!
What about that? Welcome back, Raza. So I'm sure you've been watching on your mobile device while you've been updating for 25 minutes.
Yeah, swearing, everything.
Yeah. Was it frustrating, Raza?
Didn't ask.
Chris had asked if he'd actually been to the physical Apple store to update it, and whether
would
that
have
was
been quicker. Honestly, God, it would have been quicker. I've had routers out, I've had wires out. Don't know update, and then it wouldn't log on to the Wi-Fi. I was going, what's a crack? Yeah, I even contemplated lying on the living room floor with an Ethernet cable plugged into it.
Oh. Raza, Laura and I do have a little bit of history with bad connections, so
Yes.
I feel like Dan Gosling.
You're in the same room as Dan Gosling. So hey, you're in good company, Raza. You're good company. Really good to have you on. I did introduce you as Gateshead Fells. I was going to introduce you as Gateshead Fells' finest egg chaser.
What got that for?
Used to go for the crack and the
pie afterwards. Aye, that was it.
So Raza, we've obviously covered Eddie Howe coming back. I think we both think that's going to be a good thing. Surely you agree with that, Raz?
Oh, massive, absolutely massive. Now he was watching the match and in touch and stuff like that, but physically having him there, the presence, totally different, isn't it? You know what I mean? You sell at work if your capper's not in. Do you do your best? You should do, but people are a little bit relaxed and stuff like that. But no, I think it'll be massive tomorrow. Him just being there on the touchline and getting things across straight away. I know he was in touch, and apparently he made the Fraser call to get him on and stuff like that. But physically having him there, massive difference.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, what a cross that was from Fraser.
That was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Raza, we've just finished talking about Jonjo Shelvey there. I know you haven't caught up with all of that, but what is your? I'm not sure whether we've ever discussed about Jonjo Shelvey. What is your opinion on Jonjo Shelvey?
Away. I think he's got bags of talent. I think he's one of them where he stands out at the club because he's good. He's better than most at the club. He's passing range, etc. But do you want him? Will he be there? Like when it gets to the nitty gritty, is he going to be behind you in the trenches type of thing? Gant's missing quite a lot. Yeah, he comes across as lazy. Sometimes he looks like me running. And I think you're an athlete. What are you doing? Crack on. What I mean?
You're an athlete. What are you on about?
Well, but I mean, I think his interview with NUFC, he said something like, the trainer would be in a bed. Like, I've been going to bed at 8 o'clock. I've been knackered. Well, you should have been being knackered for the last 5 years. You've been there. You know what I mean? It's like, this shouldn't be new to you. Yeah. But no, I think he's got bags of talent, but I don't know if it's his mental capacity or what. I mean, obviously, you don't go to Liverpool if you're crap. I remember him at Swansea. He was class at Swansea. A few times under Rafa, he looked the player, but he's just it's not every week. You know what I mean? It's a couple of games a month, and that's it. So,
do you think that his form is really influenced by whether we have a ball playing centre half? That means that he's forced to play 10 yards further forward, 15 yards further forward. Because I don't know about you, but I was sick to death of him coming back basically to the edge of our box, getting the ball off Fernandez or Lascelles or whoever. And then he's got 70 yards in front of him with players hiding behind each other.
I think it is a bit of that. I think he's got to do it because, like you say, we haven't got a centre half who can bring the ball out. We've got like a proper football and centre half type of thing.
Unless Shaw plays, I think when.
Wait, you see, Shaw played. I wasn't impressed with him last week. I thought, I don't know, he just wasn't. He wasn't up to it. I think. To me, when he's starting, I thought, get in, happy days, he's in. Point to prove. Didn't really show it, But then again, the whole defence didn't really show it last week, It's like, and now Lascelles scored. And now Darlow dropped a couple of ricks. Is it, them having a lack of confidence without the Bravga behind them? But it's that old saying, you can't polish a turd, you know what I mean? And we're not very good at the back. It's as simple as that, So I don't know what we're expecting, but, hopefully Fernandez can come in. I don't know what he's done. So I would like him in the starting 11 just to see if he can sort of tighten it up. But in terms of Shelvey, I think because we haven't got anybody to bring the ball out, he feels that he's got to drop deep. Having said that, I think sometimes he drops deep, so he hasn't got to go forward as well. He's not that, he's like, well, I can't be in two places at once, and it's easier for us to sit here, do the Hollywood pass type of thing, So I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he won't get away with that now,
Well, I
think we're a little bit hamstrung by the fact that he is our only creative midfielder. Connor made a good point in the comments there just about Mikel Merino, who still breaks my heart every single time I see him play, every time I see his name. What might have been, and I think he would have been an upgrade on Jonjo Shelvey. Not necessarily exactly the same type of player, but I think in an all-round sense, I think Merino, had he not been homesick, and I think he could have been the fulcrum of our centre midfield for a long time. But what might have been. But nice to see you, Dave, my pal from Tenerife. I do make a good point sometimes about Jonjo Shelvey picking the ball further up the pitch. So just coming back to, let me just see, where we're gone. Yeah, so obviously, we've talked about Jonjo Shelvey there a little bit. I keep getting this. Somebody's ringing us on my phone. I don't know who, so it's coming through on this. Raza, you have missed Laura's jungle update, which I'll update you on the text later about flapjacks and that. But
I'm not a fan of them.
Leave them messy. Nobody likes a flapjack.
Yeah, don't have a pasty or a pie. What's a flapjack?
Are you more savoury, Raz?
Well, yeah.
Me
Aye.
too.
You don't get this side being sweet, do you? You know what I mean? Aye. Pie or pasty all the time.
Me
What
too.
is it? What's your pie of choice? What's your go-to pie?
Traditional mince and onion. Can it be this?
Oh, yeah.
Or a corned beef pie. Corned beef's not too bad.
Aye.
Aye.
Laura?
They cheese malog, out like that.
No. Laura, you a pie girl?
Oh, I love a pie. Corned beef.
Corned beef. I know they weren't the best, but at Newcastle they used to do something called a magpie.
Awful.
And it was meat, something, and potato. And actually, I thought it was quite nice. It was quite a nice pie.
I would never eat at the match.
Would you not?
No.
No.
For no reason, just out.
Just drink alcohol.
You know what I am going to try this year, and I've never had one. A festive bake.
Oh,
never had one.
Not a
How's
festive
it?
bake.
I'm not a fan of them. Like, last sakes and put that minging man.
Festive
for
bakes,
me.
Harry's. Festive bakes, Harry's. Connor, any pie as long as it's a super pie.
What's a super pie?
Bang on.
Used to be is it still open? I know it used to be under the ownership of the Catnacks, but not anymore. I think it's
SP Bakery now, and it's still lush.
Is it?
It's down the team's eye. It's really nice.
Get yourself down to the SP Bakery. Could they not, for licensing issues, did they rename it Super Pie Deliberately, or did the times have to move on?
The idea. I just know it's SP Bakery now, but it's still lush. Mince pies are spot on. Peach melbas are lush.
I'm not a peach melba
So,
fan.
just a bit of traction on the pies. So Tom's going with a Scotch pie.
What's a Scotch pie?
El Grande Salmon's going with ham and egg pie.
Nah, not for me.
A ham and egg pie?
Well, that's like saying, but
Is that
yeah,
not just
for
a
me,
peach?
Could be.
Dan doesn't agree with me. I'm pretty sure that was legit magpie. They were rough. Connor
Maybe.
knows. Benjamin. Tom agrees with you about the festive bake. Raza, I think you might need another update. Bin them off. Festive bakes are unbelievable. But to be fair, Chris doesn't think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So,
Well, it is, because it comes with Christmas, didn't it?
I was absolutely.
And they're in a Christmas party. Where it's a Christmas movie.
I was absolutely livid at that Telegram chat yesterday. I had 142 messages, and I was reading them absolutely livid with life that they don't think Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Mark knows the crack. He knows that.
It's my number one film of all time.
Yeah. You're a big fan, aren't you?
Massive Bruce
Big fan of the Bruce. Big fan.
Massive.
We've covered that Bruce many times in a positive light. What do we make of? Well, unfortunately, Steve Bruce was in a 2-horse race with Ranginak or whatever the bloody hell his name is, who's now going to take over at Man United. Raz, do you think Steve Bruce will be disappointed to miss out on the Man United job?
Never in the running for it. However, let's be serious. What's he going to do? In fact, the only job he'd probably get there is on the turnstile or something. You know what I mean? Man United,
would they not have him on the concessions?
No, honestly, you just wouldn't trust him without. He'd probably get a brush, clean the changing room floor or something. You know what I mean? But he was never in the running. Dear me, if he was, I must have been third in the queue.
Yeah, I think it was Sol Campbell that got the ball rolling. He was the one who first.
Yeah, he mentioned it.
And then Schmeichel mentioned it now.
And Schmeichel. And
I thought when I clicked on that, when I seen Schmeichel says Bruce should be mentions Bruce, I was watching it and I was thinking, this is a joke. He's gonna make a joke, and he was deadly serious. And I was like,
yeah,
what?
I'll clickbait, man, innit? You know what I mean? And now what?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about it, aren't we? So
true.
There you go.
I suppose they've done their job. I think Tom is backing us up. Die Hard and Die Hard 2.
Die Hard 2 is, don't like to say it, but not even Bruce liked Die Hard 2. He said it was the worst one.
Is that the one with Samuel L. Jackson in?
No, that's 3. That's one of the greatest.
Oh, 3 is amazing. That one's
in
amazing.
New York.
What happens in Die Hard 2?
In Die Hard 2, it's very snowy, and it's
Oh,
about
it's at the airport.
yeah, it's at the airport in the
I like that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
With the beginnings dead weird with the naked man doing press ups and all that, and
Rutger.
don't know his name.
Is it Rutger Hauer? Is that the bad guy?
I can't remember his
anyway.
name.
Let's not have any more dead air. I can't think of his name, but I'm sure Tom Lynch will find.
Tom will know.
Tom will definitely know. But yeah, so it looks like the former Red Bull, Sporting Red Bull manager or whatever it's called, is going to be taking over Man United on an interim basis.
Is it just interim? Is it, and then he's going to move? The plan is for him to go into director of football after.
Apparently so, but I think they're more of a basket case than we are, which is weird.
Saying something,
There you go. So Raza, I know you're a big fan of flashy watches. I know that you like to wear the blingy bling bling. Many nights out we've had, Raza, you've been sporting your chains and your belchers and all that carry on.
I'm stitched up, yeah, like.
After the Brentford game, I know a lot of players after the game, goalkeepers might autograph the goalkeeper gloves. Players might give away shirts. They might even sign their boots and give them away. I mean, Lauren Robert went the full Monty, for want of a better expression, and gave away everything and just ended up in his grey shreddies. But Allan Saint-Maximin, after the Brentford game, gave away, I thought it was a Rolex, but I hear it's a tag watch.
Oh, it was a tag watch, wasn't it? All right.
Quite an amount of money. Raza, would you accept a tag off Allan? Would you take it?
Right, then I would have went and pawned it straight away. Aye, happy days. Aye, no. Well, you can accept it, aren't you? You're not going to say no to him. But that was a nice gesture, wasn't it? He comes across as a nice bloke, him. You know what I mean? He does a lot of work at food banks, donations and stuff like that. And it was a bit left field, wasn't it? You know what I mean? I'm just coming up and like giving it to somebody, but I think he means well. You know, he's just a generous bloke. You know, but no, you won't accept it. Nobody's gonna go, oh no, thank you, sorry, I've got to cash you. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? You're gonna take it, aren't you?
Especially if it's boxed. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Was it pre-planned? Like, does Tom have a backstory? Because Tom knows everything. Like, we were talking before we came on. Like, who was he? Like, why did he get the watch? Like, was it pre-planned? Why did he have the watch boxed up in his car? Like, why him out of all the other fans? I thought it was lovely. I thought it was a dead nice gesture. And I think, of course you're going to take it. But I would have liked a little bit of reasoning behind it and why.
I know. I think Dan wonders whether it was the person who gifted it to Saint-Maximin and then he's then pawned it off to somebody else. I re-gifted it. I mean, it's not a bad re-gift.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a "you're the best teacher" mug, is it, Laura? Do you know what I mean? That's what I used to do. Did you used to do it at Christmas? Do you do that at Christmas where some of the presents that you get, you're like, right, which of these presents can I give as presents to other people?
No, never.
No, did you not?
No. What, from the kids?
Yeah.
But they've all got teacher, right?
Like sometimes if I got like some bottles of beer, I'll be like, that'll do for me, Dad.
Oh, nah, always like.
I think I might have given Raza some cans or some bottles to make previously.
Oh, nah, I just drink them and eat them.
Yeah, I think I might have given Raza or Sean, one of the other lads, definitely have given stuff away like, oh, I thought you might like these continental beers.
Cheers, mate. I wondered why I had that best teacher mug in the cupboard, you know what I mean? I just thought you looked up to us, you know.
You want to see the stocks I've got you this year?
Oh, hey. We'll leave that there.
Connor's just taken you to task there, Raza, about Casios.
Got one myself, Connor. Didn't worry about it, mate. Got one myself.
No, I think it's a lovely gesture, and perhaps he's trying to make up for the fact that he told some people at the training ground stand in the middle of the road to fuck off. Maybe he's trying to make amends.
Oh, do you think it was him he told to fuck off? No.
Nah, because this bloke was a season ticket holder.
Oh, right, okay.
You know what I mean? I think the bloke was a season ticket holder. I think he put on his Instagram post or his Twitter post that it was the best thing that happened to him.
Oh,
as a season
30
ticket
years
holder,
or something.
aye.
Yeah.
So maybe he was in the players' lounge as a bit of a maybe somebody got him in there because he'd been a fan for that many years or whatever, and maybe that's why it's happened. But
I hope he can tell
Allan,
the time. You
aye.
know what I mean? Otherwise, it'll be a waste of present.
I know it looks nice on your wrist. It doesn't matter if you can tell the
Yeah.
time or not.
Bit of bling.
Exactly, you can't beat a bit of bling, can you? So obviously we've talked about Bruce there a little bit, but we did mention Raza before, Tracy Crouch. I know you're a big fan of Tracy Crouch, the sports minister. These 25-minute half times apparently that they're going to be bringing in, or they want to bring in. Do you think it's a load of hot air, or is there actually anything in it?
Absolute load of shit. What they're trying to do, you know, how they're trying to make like the Super Bowl. I mean, what you're going to do? Look, if they had 25 minutes, it's another couple of pints for people at half time, isn't it? You know what I mean? But why 25 minutes? I didn't get it.
It's random.
It's been 15 minutes for so many years, you know. Why change it?
Yeah.
Load of shit. It'll be a money-making scheme somewhere, wouldn't it? So
yeah. But if it was to happen, Raza, and there was an entertainment on the field, what would be your choice of entertainment on the field for that 25 minutes? Would you bring back the Zorbs, the people racing?
No.
I mean, I don't actually know what they do at half time now, because would you bring back the Geordie jackpot?
The what?
The Geordie jackpot? The Geordie jackpot?
Oh, is that not gone anymore, is it?
I don't think it is.
I thought it was.
No.
Well, with the Super 7, that's still good.
Did they used to bring out a tombola?
Something like that, a pitch side, didn't it? Aye, they did used to do like a draw pitch side near the dugout. I thought that was still gone, if I'm honest with you, like, but
no.
I've never heard the man on the mic for a long, long time.
Yeah, they used to bring out. Was it a white? Was it like a white tumbler thing? And they used to
bring something good, and like a guest, whoever was sponsoring the match or something, would pick like something up, didn't they? You know, so. But no, I honestly thought that was still happening. Like, but half-time entertainment.
Who would be a dream half-time entertainment if we had 25 minutes to spare?
It's got to be Harry Palmer, hadn't it? Bring back that acoustic guitar, centre circle, the whole crowd would be going wild. Harry Palmer. I'd just to let you in on Raza and I's text life here. I did ask him about Harry Palmer, and he said he DJs at the Nag's Head in Gateshead Central. I completely believe them. So, but if anybody does know where Harry Palmer is,
who's Harry Palmer?
Oh, when the beans come out the tin. Oh, when the beans come. Laura, I'll send you a link to Spotify.
Okay, thanks.
It's brilliant.
During the Keegan era, he wrote some absolutely epic tunes about Kevin Keegan on the bench, doo-dah. Kevin Keegan on the bench, doo-dah. And one of the most controversial lines, which is festive as well, because we're coming into festive season, was slap your lass with a Christmas tree.
Whoa.
Where that came from, I have no idea. I'm sure it was done with fondness, but
that sounds good. That sounds like it would get the crowd going. I quite like that idea.
Laura, it was a man with his acoustic guitar just singing his heart out. It was absolutely brilliant. So if anybody knows, I bet you Marty will remember. Harry Palmer. So if anybody knows, in fact, maybe his best he could shelve his attempts to find Philippe Albert and maybe start with Harry Palmer because he's a bit more local and a bit more accessible possibly, and maybe we'll get Harry Palmer back on the pitch. Him and Sam Fender, maybe he's doing like a bit of a duet. That would be impressive for me. Like, but we can all dream. Laura, I know obviously Boyzone aren't the full complement as they used to be, but who would you have on the stage on the pitch at half time if it was 25 minutes?
Boyzone and Westlife, yeah.
Best Life. Would you have Best Life on?
No, Westlife.
Westlife, oh.
Yeah.
Do you think that would encourage people to go to the concession stands and buy?
Probably encourage people to go.
Yeah, and then it would be like what I've always dreamed of is like a one-woman concert because everyone would go and I would just be there like that.
and you will be living your best life.
Oh, I would be living my best life.
Oh my God,
that's the dream.
I think for me, I would be Harry Palmer. I would have bring a modern. Sam Fender would be pretty good.
If we're being deadly serious, I would have said Sam Fender as well.
I'm waiting for Sam Fender to be on that pitch at some point.
It'll happen.
You said Hall and Oates on your Twitter.
Yeah, Hall and Oates. I was in a bit of a Hall and Oates moment. Private eyes.
I do quite. Yeah, me mum and dad have roped us into liking them. I do like Hall and Oates.
That's unbelievable Hall and Oates, man.
I do enjoy it.
What about Jimmy Neal? Get Jimmy Neal there, man.
Oh yes.
How would that be?
Yeah. A live rendition of Big River.
Big River. Yeah.
And then Lindisfarne and get them all there.
Yeah, well, I think is it Alan Hull? I think he's passed away, but get the rest of them on. That'll be amazing. If anybody else has got any ideas, Creased Chris, Rage in a Cage with Mark dressed as the Undertaker. You know, if anybody else has got any suggestions in the comments, I'll try and add those in as to who would be your 25 minutes superstars at half time.
I hope they don't do that though.
Coming Home Newcastle, that was sung by Busker, but I do believe, I think he's dead actually.
Passed away as well, he is.
God rest his soul. God rest his soul. I suppose while we're talking about those who've sadly passed away, obviously this week was the 10th anniversary of the loss of Gary Speed. A really sad time, a really baffling moment, I think, in a lot of people's lives about such a light, as such a well-renowned and well-loved figure about and his passing. I think he'd been on the television the previous day, and then obviously the news broke the next day. Raza, good memories of Gary Speed. Have you got any key ones that you think that you come back here, or any thoughts about the man who really embodied, I think, everything about Newcastle, about spirit, hard work, determination? And
pretty much that, mate. It's like, we talk about the midfielder like Shelvey, and then you look at somebody like Gary Speed, who was just a workhorse. He could tackle, he could pass, he could score. I mean, heading ability up there with like Les Ferdinand, for what I've seen heading the football. Just an amazing bloke, good looking bloke and all. And you think about what he done at Wales, he set the platform for Wales, and then Chris Coleman took it on, and you look where Wales got, so he was on Football Focus, obviously the day before he's passing, and obviously mental. Right. I think we're going about things about mental health and stuff like that, and you would never ever thought, anything was up with him, and it's heartbreaking really, because I think he had so much still to give. Sort of in his managerial career, given so much as a player, but I think he had a lot more to give as a manager, But God rest his soul, absolute legend, brilliant player.
Laura, do you have any? I mean, obviously, I know you got your ticket a little bit later on in the Gary Speed years, but any memories of Gary Speed that really, or your impression of him and the type of person that he was?
Yeah, like you say, I don't have any personal memories of him playing because I was a bit too young, and I didn't get my ticket later on. But just reading all the stories when it gets to this time of year about him and things, it is like, as I said, just so sad. Like seemed like such a down to earth, normal, nice, hard-working guy. Spent most of, when I was looking earlier, he spent most of his playing career here.
I think the longest spell that he had was at Newcastle. I think obviously I think he started off at Leeds, Everton. He spent a few years there, and then he spent a good spell at Bolton. I think. I wonder whether Robson Memories regretted letting him go when he did.
Is that who let him go? Did he?
Yeah, I think he wasn't getting as much game time. I think with Board Viana possibly, and he was, we're going in a slightly different direction. But it was probably that decision between keeping a solid pro there, who still had something to offer, but then not being able to give him the games that he wanted, and it's probably a really difficult decision to make. And ultimately, Robson made the decision to let him go, and he carried on. Obviously, he went to Bolton and then Sheffield United, and then obviously into the Wales job. I think he managed. Did he manage
Sheffield United as well? I did.
He went to the Wales job. But yeah, I mean, what a player! I mean, he was a goal scorer midfielder for those. I remember when he first came, he was played on the left side of midfield. Raza, can you remember? He was played more as a winger.
Played more of a winger than he the they start to push him sort of more centre midfield, you know what I mean? But it just shows the versatility of him. You know, he could play a wing, could play anywhere across like the midfield. You know, he was outstanding, really, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I think El Grande has told us there it was when Nicky Butt came in, slightly younger, and obviously they were going in a slightly different direction. But talking about that versatility, I remember when he played for Wales against. Did he play at left back against Italy?
Maybe
you know, he would. You know, he's the type of player he would play. You know, imagine asking Shelvey or, well, probably not Hayden because Hayden has been played there. But you know, a lot of centre midfielders to say, "Oh, will he play at left back? Will he play right back?" And they'd be like, they won't be happy. But he was just an ultimate professional. That's probably anybody's words about him will be he was an absolute professional and obviously an absolute gentleman. You know, such a popular player. So I think I'll raise a toast. If you've got a glass there, we'll raise a toast to Gary Speed on the 10th anniversary. He's very, very sad passing. Moving on to some other topics that we thought we'd kind of cover. Obviously, we talked about Bruce, Shelvey. I can't think of anything else that we should cover, really. We've covered pretty much everything we were going to cover now. I got myself into a bit of a corner there. I suppose that now is as good a time as any to mention this is the last opportunity today and probably early on tomorrow to buy a ticket for the raffle for the Castor Ball, which is in aid of Decca's Uncle Fraser, who unfortunately is suffering after having a couple of strokes. So trying to raise money for his treatment. So if you check out the Gallowgateshots Twitter feed, probably the Facebook as well, and if you follow Decca, tickets are $5 and you win a Castor Ball that's signed by the whole current Newcastle United team. And as we've said a couple of times, the bonus is there's no Sports Direct on it. So it's a really amazing cause. I think the last Decca sent us a message just before we went on. So I'll just check what that value was. I think it was around 1,500 quid at the moment. Yep. So they wanted to raise 500 quid.
Wow. And
they've raised 1,500. So there'll be plenty more tickets left, plenty more opportunities to buy. If you go
and I think Decca's going to hand deliver it as well. So I heard.
So he says, yes, he said within reason. So if you live in Alabama, you might get it on post, possibly. And I suppose while we'll mention Alabama, we might as well say happy Thanksgiving. Smooth. Happy Thanksgiving to all our American compadres who are over there. Shade, I know, was celebrating Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to all of those, our American fans. Massive fans of ExtraTyne, Laura, because it's on at a good time for them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're all in extra time. I have no idea. I was just sort of like hoping that it probably will be. It will be. It's got to be some sort of time, isn't it?
Of course.
It's got to be, yeah.
They'll all be in bed because Shade's getting up at 4:30 tomorrow morning.
Oh, for the match, yes. Mm-hmm. He will be, won't he?
Yeah, and the pubs. I've just seen he put on Twitter before the pub's opening at 4:30, so that he's got to be at the pub for 4:30 in the morning.
That is kind of. I mean, to be fair, that is kind of impressive. Like,
it is.
Impressive. So we've covered. Do we need to talk about Benzema's sex tape?
No, I didn't. I seen that bullet.
No, we didn't.
I seen that bullet point, and I was like, no thanks.
No. Yeah. I think we're about there. So, Arsenal tomorrow, big game. Raza, I think we talked about when you were furiously trying to sort out your Ethernet. Laura and I were kind of thinking we need to be positive going into the Arsenal game. Obviously, they're off the back of a 4-0 defeat. Are they going to be a little bit shaky? Are we going to be that Newcastle, that traditional Newcastle that turns up and says, if you've had a bad game, lads, come and play us. We'll help you out, or are we going to be a bit more abrasive this time, Raza? What do you think? What's your prediction tomorrow?
I actually think we'll get beat. Arsenal's got a point to prove, obviously, coming up the back of the 4-0 to defeat the Liverpool. We will give it all. We'll try. We'll probably get a goal because we've got a goal in now, you know. Yeah. But I just think their quality will be a little bit more than ours. So I'm going to see a 2-1 win to Arsenal. Hope I'm wrong, you know, but I kind of see it. I kind of see we're winning. I hope I'm wrong, but it's just we are where we are because of how good we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Raza, we've had a comment from Christopher about just tilt your screen because you look like you're far away. If yours from a desktop that can't be moved, always so far away from the screen, you know. Get a bit closer, Raza. Take yourself in there.
there you go.
Laura, we were really positive, Laura. Now Raza's
Raza's brought her back down.
Just be realistic. Just be realistic. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Laura, what do you think tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I can add the podcast too. A bit too big for me boots after our performance on Saturday against shitty Brentford, who've newly promoted Brentford, forgetting that Arsenal are like 5th in the league. But yeah, I do. If I'm being, do we do predictions to be truthful or just like?
Give us your hopeful. Give us your truthful.
Hopeful a draw, because I really don't think we'll win. I can't say
Your
first.
Your hope.
Oh, right. Sorry.
You're going to hope for a win, aren't you?
Yes.
You've got to hope for a win.
Right. No, I thought you meant. No, right.
Serious?
Sorry. No. Let's just rewind because I misjudged what you meant.
Laura,
I hope we'll win.
What's your hope?
I hope we'll win.
Yeah, realistic.
I hope we'll win. I would be happy with a draw. Realistically, I think we'll get beat, but we'll score. I agree with Raza. Sorry, that took some doing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. My hopeful and my realistic are the same. We are going to win 2-1. It's happening. There you go.
Hope you return.
So do I.
I will get there eventually. I
just can't say our first win being against Arsenal.
Sorry, Raza, to block you off. If you lift your head up, you might see over
Sorry.
the top there. What was that cartoon, Raza, where the nose was going over the top? You remember?
Oh,
what was that graffiti? And that could be you. If I put a comment there, if you just get your head up a little bit, there you go. So we've got Michael, Geordie living in Canada. Raza, you've got connections in Canada. See if you can speak. Good hearing some Geordie accents again, and got them playing on my second screen while he works on the other. Hopefully, your work isn't of national importance. You know, you're not setting interest rates, or maybe it's over the nuclear button. Does Canada have a nuclear arsenal, Raza?
Oh, Arsenal.
And would they just sort of drizzle maple syrup on their enemies and hope that they?
Nice people, the Canadians, when they didn't argue one out, you know, they didn't fight, they just chilled out, you know, they're cool.
Yeah. Predictions. Oh, Paul Williams saying I Ryan.
Oi, love, Yari son.
Do you know Paul?
I actually love massive Newcastle fan as well, so I used to work with him. Lovely bloke.
And then the last few comments. Hopefully for a win from Davey Eddy, who's on holiday in Tenerife. I thought he was living there, but is he down at Veronica's? That's my question. Has he been to where? What was the Monkey? Monkey Beach. Davey Eddy, get yourself down to Monkey Beach. It's brilliant. Dave's backing me up. I think we're going to win. Chump, Boy Meets World. I think the neighbour's called Wilson.
Was that cartoon thing?
Yeah.
Maybe right.
Was it?
Was the cartoon Pob? Oh, the little nose thing. Maybe it was Pob. Aye. Canadians are too nice to have any weapons. I'm not going 300 miles to hope for we lose. So
I didn't hope it was an accident. I didn't hope for a draw. I didn't hope for a draw.
Aye. And apparently Kilroy was here. Anyway, so thank you very much, Raza. Thank you for joining us despite your
sorry about the old technical itches and that, like.
It's all right.
We're used to it.
Itches or hitches.
Hitches, whatever you want to call them. It wasn't what I was calling them when I was trying to sort it out.
Whatever it is, Raza, I've got some cream for it. Don't worry about it. Really
and
good to see you both.
Treat.
Really good to see you both again. Thank you to all those people who've left comments. Hopefully I got through as many as I possibly could. Thanks to those people who are going to watch us later on as well. Plenty of content coming up. Obviously, we have Percino is imminent. Despite Laura and I's best efforts, he won't be appearing on this show.
I'm happy with that after the last time.
Oh, it was the headphones messed you up, Laura. You know.
Yeah, I was,
was a
Kerry Katona off me too. I haven't even watched it back because I'm mortified at how much I was slurring.
What a bella.
I wasn't actually off my face. It was the headphones making us sound like I was. Awful.
It was Laura, it was a stressful situation for everybody.
Very stressful.
Don't worry. But yes, so Chris and the lads from Always Smiling Faces, all the Gallowgateshots family will be letting you know a little bit more about the Perchinio situation, hopefully coming up before the new year, and that'll be really, really interesting. I think we might do maybe a Q&A type of thing, but I'll let Chris to say kind of what goes on with that. But big thanks to Dan Gosling for that as well, because he managed to sort that out for me. So thank you very much. Thanks, Raza, for rejoining us despite your dramas.
Thanks.
Laura, great to see you as always, and hopefully 12:30 tomorrow. A good lineup. Half time will be winning. Second half will be absolutely smashing those Arsenal boys. And so thanks for joining. Like and subscribe. Really good to see everybody, and thanks a lot. And we'll see you next time. So everybody start waving.
How are the lads? See you later.
How are the lads? See you later, guys. Thanks very much. Take care.
Bye.